Chainsaw Man is a manga that has been on my radar for a while. It's been a bit of a cult hit within manga reading circles. I mean, it was so popular that the first trailer for the anime had, to my knowledge anyway, the most views compared to any new series based on a manga before release, which on its own is pretty impressive. I think everyone knew it would get mainstream popularity soon, and Crunchyroll and all the other outlets obviously knew it was coming too. So, knowing it was set to premiere, I decided to start reading the manga. Long story short, I got to the Katana Man arc and have been watching the anime as well. Honestly, I've liked it so far. I'm careful to not immediately declare a series a masterpiece, especially since I'm not that far into it, but I've enjoyed it. I do want to get some things out of the way first. For those unaware, Chainsaw Man is a really weird manga. I'm not trying to say that to knock it, that's just the kind of series that it is. In my last video, I talked about Solanin and mentioned how it differs from my usual manga reading tastes, since I tend to not read much in the slice of life genre. However, in other media, stories like it aren't necessarily something I'm unacquainted with, and it helps that it covers such directly relatable topics that it's just very easy for me to digest. In the case of Chainsaw Man, its genre is described as dark fantasy with comedy horror elements. It's over the top, it's chaotic, it's fast-paced, and even straight up ridiculous sometimes. You can take a random moment from this series, explain it to someone who has no context, and they might think you're high. All that being said, this series can be very clever and even surprisingly touching. While I do have some issues with the pacing at times, as you sometimes feel like it's pressing the gas pedal as hard as it can be with few breaks, it also works to its advantage by making those little moments stand out. Denji can be a bit of an off-putting protagonist. At the beginning of the story, he has no real morals or beliefs, and as fans of the series know very well, his main goal for the first few chapters is to touch boobs. Going through this, I had some inclination to just drop this manga because I was honestly starting to think that the series was, well, stupid and not worth my time. I was encouraged by others I know who like the series to press on. Before reading any of Chainsaw Man, I've heard people label Denji as a simp, a loser, a pervert, and now that I've actually began reading, I think there is truth to those labels, yet the story doesn't use them for a bunch of endless shallow jokes. What I've seen is that Denji is someone that has no proper upbringing. He has no meaningful relationships, no moral compass, nothing. A lot of his story has been about becoming human and living beyond trivial things. It was actually right after Denji accomplished his goal that I realized Chainsaw Man was something more than I had pegged it to be, and I actually began to appreciate it more. Because at that moment, he actually began to wonder if his goal was really worth it. While I think there's still more to come in general with his character, I've liked what Fujimoto has done so far. Most of the other characters I find really fun. Power is crazy and weird, but is really hilarious sometimes and bounces off Denji's personality really well. Aki getting annoyed at them is very entertaining, at least to me anyways. Makima as well, obviously up to something. She's very manipulative and creepy, and I just know something's off with her. Pretty sure half of you already know what happens, and I'm just waiting for something crazy to happen in the manga at this point. Please don't spoil in the comments. I do want to talk about one specific scene in Chainsaw Man. The moment that really hit me hard was in chapter 39 with the scene at the movie theater. There will be spoilers here, so be wary. Here, Denji and Makima go on a date and they have a movie marathon. They don't care for most of the movies they end up watching, but they then finally find one that they love, and Denji starts getting emotional and is surprised at himself. Even Makima sheds a few tears. After they leave the movie, he asks her if he has a heart, and she confirms to him by saying, "Yeah, you have one." I even got a little emotional while reading this, and it caught me off guard a little just because of the nature of this story and how so much had happened, yet it had only been a few chapters in retrospect. A few chapters earlier, Denji didn't even care about a whole lot, and he then started to actually feel something. If there's any part that is going to stick with me from the series, it's probably this. While it's simple, it says so much about where Denji's character is headed and Chainsaw Man's overall themes. There's still plenty more to read, and the story isn't even over yet, but I'm impressed with it so far, and I can definitely recommend people to give it a try. It's probably not for everyone just because it might come off as being a bit much at times. It can be a little gory, strange, and even just plain silly. but it manages to do things in a unique way and it really works. And I can't help but admire Fujimoto's work in making something that really stands out. And that alone should hopefully have captured your interest. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.